So I got the travel size version of the Felicia Leatherwood Detangler brush, and I thought I'll share with you how they compare to each other. But I decided that rather than sitting down and talking to you about it, I would just show you how they worked side by side. So, welcome to today's detangling video where we use two versions of the same brush. I'm starting on freshly washed hair and I'm applying my conditioner generously from my roots all the way to my ends, but I'm not applying water yet. Now, these are the two brushes side by side. The smaller baby one has two less rows than the bigger one, and it is a lot small. It feels like a toy, you know? It is shorter and it is narrower, and it feels like the mini version. Anyway, I'm going in now and I'm wetting my section with water to give me that slip. And my hair is 2 weeks old here, so we're really putting these brushes to the test. I usually wash my hair once a week or every 5 to 7 days, but this was, I think, 15 days at this point. I split my section into an even smaller section and I'm going in with my fingers first, which is what I recommend. Going with your fingers first to loosen all of the big knots and tangles, and then going with your brush starting at the ends and starting vertically. And look at that. I love this brush so much. It just glides through my hair so easily. Okay, moving on to the next section. Going with my fingers. It already does have water in it, so that water and conditioner combo gives me that foamy slip that I need to detangle my hair. I go in with my fingers first because, again, my hair is quite old at this point. I add some more water and then I start detangling at the ends, working my way up slowly. When I get to my roots, I make sure that I feel the brush against my roots. I know it is recommended to try to avoid the conditioner touching your scalp, but I go all the way to my roots and I make sure that the brush hits my head when I'm detangling, because the interlocking skills of my hair at my roots is from another universe, and I'm just not fighting that fight. Anyway, we're moving on to the next section where we use the baby little brush. I go in with my fingers first after applying water, split the section to an even smaller section, and what I realized after this section was that was as big as I could possibly get. Anything bigger than that tiny section, that the brush would struggle because it is not a long brush, it's a much shorter brush. It does the job beautifully, but it feels like a toy. So I was just laughing. It's like going from a Jeep to a tiny little hatchback. It feels like a toy. Anyway, it does the job beautifully. It goes all the way and it does a very thorough job, and I have no complaints whatsoever. But when I moved up, I split that section into two again. I didn't have to do that with the big version of the brush, but for this little one I had to, because the brush just couldn't do big sections. And I think that is the only downside to this brush. Other than that, it does beautifully. As always, start at the ends, holding your hair taut as you go, and then just work your way up. Once you get up, you can change the brush to a horizontal position and just brush as you go. And look at that, it even does those two sections combined. But starting out, of course, you want to use smaller sections with the smaller brush. And I just move into my next section. I wanted to touch on why we should use conditioners. Now, what happens is when we wash our hair with the shampoo's pH allows the shampoo to lift our cuticle. And then that allows all of the dirt and all of the sweat and all of the pollution and everything else to come out of our hair. When we go in with the conditioner, it replenishes the moisture and it makes our hair soft and smooth. The conditioner also reduces frizz and helps us to detangle our hair. What's more, it adds shine to our hair. Now, I'm saying all of this so that when we go to use our conditioner, we know exactly why. We're not just using a conditioner because everybody else does. We know that we need the conditioner to smooth our cuticles back down and keep the moisture in our hair. See, the daily wear and tear that our hair goes through damages our cuticles and it causes them to break. The conditioner strengthens our cuticles with a protective coating, and that just helps to prevent damage. Those chipping that you see in images of people's cuticles, the conditioner helps to prevent that. So, make sure that when you're choosing a conditioner, you want one that replenishes and nourishes your hair, which it should already be doing, and that gives you a lot of slip and weight as well to weigh your hair down while you're detangling. Usually it is recommended that we leave our conditioner on for a few minutes before we rinse it out. But I feel like that doesn't apply to us because we detangle in sections. Each section gets the conditioner sitting in it for a few minutes anyway. So it's a win-win for us. Now circling back to this section, I added water. I split the section into smaller bits that I can hold and that my brush can deal with. I go in with my fingers. That helps to undo all of the bigger knots and tangles. And then, of course, I get some more water because I need that foamy situation going on that you see. That is what reduces frizz and helps my brush to glide through my hair. And this brush is doing beautifully. I'm also detangling from every side of my section, from the top, from the bottom, and the left and the right, so I get a very thorough detangling session. And if I find that I hit any resistance, I go back, start again at the ends, add some more water if I need to, and then just carry on. I combine these two sections together and I'm so impressed that the brush is going through those two sections. Again, remember to brush from underneath the section. Okay, moving on to the big brush side. The section has been wet with water. It is now foamy and I am going in with my fingers. So before I go in with my fingers, I massage the conditioner onto that section. I just go in massaging onto the section, making sure that my hair is completely saturated with the conditioner plus water combo. And all of the conditioner on the back of my hands or the back of my brush, I slap it back on my section and I just carry on. So we're starting at the ends and we are going upwards slowly. We are also not letting go of the section and we are making sure that if we hit any resistance, we come back down and we start at the ends vertically. When you get up to your roots, make sure that the bristles of the brush touch your roots, unless of course you are a lucky person and your hair does not tangle or get matted at your roots. If your hair does like mine, make sure that the bristles of the brush touches your roots and that you are able to detangle from the roots all the way down. Also remember to detangle from all the sides of your section. You know, one thing I like about these brushes is the wide handle. For me, I find that they're very easy to hold, and that's including the baby one. Even though it's a tiny little brush, it is still easy to hold. It has a nice grip to it. I hold my brushes at the neck, so to speak, because that gives me control over my brush and where it's going. I don't just hold it at the handle, but with this brush or with these two brushes, holding it at the neck is so easy to do because the handles are also very easy to hold and to grasp. The brush does a very good job and it's not the smallest of sections. I probably could have gone even smaller, but knowing me, I am not going to be in the shower for more than 55 minutes doing my hair, so we are just going to make it work. And I remember to brush from every side of the section, and I also remember to go all the way to my roots. That's very important. Okay, other things I like about the brush, or the brushes, are the flexibility and how easy they move through our hair. I also like that they are well spaced in the bristles. The bristles are not so close to each other, like a rat tail comb. So that's super cool. And most importantly, very easy to clean. There you have it. That's why I like these brushes. We're almost done with the section. We are on the last section of the big brush. The way it powers through a fairly large section is just unrivaled. It just goes through the section with ease. And I think that has to do with the length, of course, and the width of the brush as well. And so when you are detangling horizontally, like that, it goes through all of the side, like just like that. Yeah, it goes through all of it at once, and you don't have to break it down into smaller sections. Whereas when we move on to the other side, you see that I go ahead and I split that section in two so that I can have a more thorough detangling process without ripping my hair out of my head. I'm also very tender-headed in the front of my head, and so I'm very careful with my brushes around my edges. So splitting it up to use a smaller brush was a very good decision for me. I split it up and then I go ahead, start at the ends of my section, and I'm using the brush vertically and I'm brushing downwards. If I hit any resistance, like you see right there, I go back in, start downwards, and then just work my way up. This brush is just amazing. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not fighting with my 2-week-old hair, and it does not hurt using the brush. It is just a tiny little brush. I brush from every side, and I move on to my next section. There we go. I'm starting downwards, brushing vertically, and then moving my way upwards. It just goes by faster when the section is proportional to the brush. And look at that, the brush was able to do that for that whole section. That was amazing. And then we go rinse. This is the most satisfying thing to do on wash day. Rinsing my hair and just making sure that I rid my hair of all of the conditioner. There is no need to leave any conditioner behind. The conditioner has done its job of replenishing moisture after washing your hair. It has also given you that soft and smooth feel that helps you to detangle your hair. It has gone and reduced frizz, added shine, and all of the amazing things that a conditioner does. And so there is no need to leave any conditioner behind in your hair. Go ahead, rinse as normal. You don't have to use cold water. You can, you don't have to. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.